Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, how much will depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption. Like and share videos, news updates. Over 80% of kidnappers and armed robbers in the correctional centers in Nasarawa state are Fulanis. That's according to the Nasarawa youth presidents. Yes. Now the Forum of Ethnic Youth Presidents in Nasarawa state has called on the federal government to immediately proscribe the nomad vigilante group inaugurated recently in their state by the president of Miyetti Allah Kauto Hore, talking about Alhaji Bello Bodejo. Now the group, they are demanding that Bodejo should be thoroughly investigated. Yes, they said that in Nasarawa alone, over 80% of kidnappers and armed robbers in the correctional centers in the state are Fulanis. Say some of whom are not even of Nigerian origin. So that's foreigners, Fulani, coming from the neighboring countries, from Chad, Niger, even from Mali, to come to their state, to destabilize their state. You see. Now addressing the press in Lafia, the state capital, the chairman of the forum, Comrade Salas Lauda Yeleni, said that the inauguration of nomadic vigilante group in their state was illegal, going by the composition of the group. He said that some of them are not even Nigerians. Said that the youth leaders cannot therefore sit down and watch Alhaji Bello Bodejo inaugurating migrants from non-existing communities of Nasarawa state and formalizing his acts that may lead to terrorism and banditry. That's what he's saying. Now Yeleni noted that if the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Onyenduma Makano, is behind bars for an allegation being preferred on him by the federal government that he is promoting terrorism, said, then what about someone who deserves the same treatment? Said this man committed, terrorism, act of terrorism, talking about Alhaji Bello Bodejo. Said it was indeed an act of terrorism. So he's supposed to be, in detention and suffer there. So Mazamekano is being his allegation. It's just an allegation, and the federal government is maltreating him. What about someone who committed the terrorism? So they have seen him, he committed terrorism. Now Yelani said, quote, there are several communities cut across the three senatorial districts of Nasarawa state that have been wiped off from the map of the state as the inhabitants have been killed in crisis while survivors are displaced, and their houses and historical relics flattened. Aside from open violent attacks on communities, there have been incidences of actual destruction of crops and farms. There is also the menace of night grazing on people's crops in order to avoid arrest or identification. These are some of the challenges farmers are experiencing in Nasarawa state at the moment. End of quote. Now this is where they are launching the nomadic vigilante in Anaman state, Nasarawa state. Is it an Islamic caliphate? You are putting Fulani, nomadic vigilante. So the youth leaders, they said they reject this. The federal government should proscribe the group, yes, and make sure that the leader stays in detention and suffer that place. Yes. So they are talking about their ordeal, their experience in the hands of this Fulani. They said over 80% of kidnappers and armed robbers in their state say they are Fulani people. And that's the same fate or same experience other regions are facing. I've been talking about what is happening in Imo State, in Hiagwa area, towards Futo, Obinse. I've said it about the Okada riders there. The whole Fulani, and you see the kidnapping spree in that location. So he said, it's worrying. I've seen the way how they're kidnapping people there. And the kidnappers are Fulani. Yes, they're all Fulani. So in Nasarawa state, they're saying Fulani people, they are kidnappers there. They are the ones, disturbing the peace of the people in Nasarawa state. Talking about the formation of the nomadic vigilante, they said even those, the members of the vigilante, say they are not origins, they are not of Nigerian origin. They are foreigners. Fulani people. Yes. Even those they say they are kidnappers, they are also foreigners. So they're not of Nigerian origin, but they are Fulani people. You've seen it. So that is what Buhari caused for Nigeria, and Tinubu is continuing it. Yes, they are afraid to tackle the Fulani matter. Talking about this present regime, because of course the past regime is their kinsman. Yes, Buhari, we have said it, is the grand patron of Mieti Allah. Is the grand patron. If this government is serious to tackle the issue of insecurity, Buhari should be arrested and put behind bars. That's the point. We have seen in other climes where former leaders have been arrested. Yes, and put behind bars. It's not a crime. It's not the impossibility. In neighboring African country, we have seen it. Yes, even in South Africa, we have seen it. I've seen presidents, former leaders, put behind bars for crime they committed while in office. So Buhari will not be an exception. So if Tinubu regime is even serious, Buhari should be behind bars for crime against humanity he committed. For a lot of things he did in Nigeria while as the president. Is it the corruption? The amount of money they looted? Only the means and ways, or ways and means as they call it, they siphoned about over 30 trillion naira from just ways and means. They say they want to alleviate the poor people, alleviate the poverty in the land. They siphoned 30 trillion. No effect, we have said it. As we are speaking, over 70% of Nigerians are still poor. They are living below poverty level, whereas over 30 trillion naira was spent to alleviate poverty. Yes, to lift people from poverty level. Yet we are seeing that percentage or figure, over 70%, living below poverty line. So there are people that are supposed to be behind bars. They are roaming the street freely. They are detaining an innocent man who committed no offense. The court of competent jurisdiction have declared him discharged and acquitted, and they are still keeping him. Tell me how such a country will move forward, if not retrogression, going backwards. That is the point. That's why hardship pervades the nook and cranny of the country, and it stays. Not just pervades, it stays. Yes, the hardship tarries. There's no solution to it. Nobody is doing anything. The hardship continues.